Welcome everyone back to weekly weather updates, and in today's video we're going to continue to have a look at the very unsettled and stormy weather we have that is incoming for the United Kingdom. It is now starting to arrive, lower pressure with a lot of heavy showers, thunderstorms and persistent rain in the west. We could also be seeing some very gusty winds next week. 40, 50, 60 mile per hour gusts are going to be coming. Now that doesn't sound too strong, but given the time of year, trees are still in full leaf, we could still see some impacts from it. So in today's video we're going to run through what we can see on the live radar. We'll have a look at the weather warnings, as we do have a thunderstorm warning in force today in the southwest, and we do have a rain warning in force for Northern Ireland and Scotland tomorrow. And then we'll have a look at the UKV, looking at the precipitation and the temperature over the next 5 days. We'll look at the WRF, looking at Cape charts and precipitation charts, just to have an idea of if we could be seeing any severe thunderstorms and where they could pop up. And then we'll have a look at the mid to longer range, look at the GFS, GM, ECMWF and the Ensembles, looking at what's happening on the pressure level and the temperature level in the atmosphere, and what could be happening within the next week or two, whether this unsettled weather is going to remain, or could we see something a little bit drier towards the middle of the month. So do remember, if you enjoy my videos, make sure you like and subscribe, and remember to follow me on Twitter as well, the link's in description. So if you start on the live radar, you can see the unsettled weather that we have been alluding to over the past few days has finally arrived. We've got weather fronts arriving in the west of the British Isles, heavy rain pushing into parts of Western Ireland, Northern Ireland and western parts of Scotland, and this is going to bring a lot of rain over the next week or so. Could be seeing these areas could be seeing at least 50 millimetres of rain, maybe as much as 100 millimetres or even more in a few spots. Now further eastwards, we aren't seeing too much at this stage, but you're starting to see shower and potentially thunderstorm activity starting to take off, and this is going to be the main driver of precipitation in the far east. These weather fronts look likely to sort of sit on the western half of the British Isles, so areas in northeast, East Midlands, East Anglia, southeast England are unlikely to see a lot of persistent rain here. We're unlikely to see these weather fronts pushing in, but we are in the instability. We've got warmer air trying to waft up ahead of the lower pressure in from the near continent, and some areas in the east could actually see the most amount of rainfall from heavy showers and thunderstorms. So the east, I don't think we're going to be seeing as much persistent precipitation, but we're most likely to see the heavy showers and thunderstorms. We're seeing a few of those break out this afternoon. You can see across the central, southern and southeast England a few heavy showers and storms there through the Midlands and northeast England, some patchy showers, and across the southwest we're starting to see showers breaking out. A bit of a convergence zone appearing there, so it should form into a bit of a line through the spine of southwest England. A few heavy showers and storms breaking out there, and we have a thunderstorm warning that is in force until later this evening, so got to watch out that over the course of this afternoon and evening. But this is just the beginning. We're going to be seeing this activity increasing tomorrow, and the highest activity for thunderstorms and general precipitation is going to be around Sunday to Wednesday. Probably beyond that, it's a little bit out of our range at this stage to say exactly what we're going to be seeing, but it's likely to actually continue towards the end of the working week. But towards next weekend, a bit of uncertainty, could be seeing a little bit of a change, maybe higher pressure building in for a time, but we still look likely to be quite unsettled towards the middle of the month. Now, if you put the temperatures aren't going to be too bad over the next 5 days in the east. Still pretty warm, really, as ahead of the lower pressure we've got southerly winds, so we're drawing up warm air from the continent. But as I said, that could actually fuel thunderstorms. But where we avoid those showers and storms, we could see still warm temperatures, mid to high 20s if possible. And we're seeing that again today, where we're avoiding the showers and cloud across East Anglia, northwest of England, down towards the southwest, towards southern Wales and eastern parts of Ireland. We're seeing temperatures perhaps getting into the mid-20s, 25, 26 degrees as possible. We could even reach 27 or 28 over the next 5 days or so. But it's going to be very isolated, and it's going to be wherever we avoid the showers, storms and thicker cloud. Now, if you have a look at the weather warnings, see what's going to be happening over the next couple of days. Now, we only have weather warnings in force for today and tomorrow, but I do suspect from Sunday, Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday, we are going to be seeing some more warnings put in force, and they could be very short notice warnings. So make sure you do keep an eye on the Met Office app and their Twitter feed as well, because this thunderstorm warning across southwest England was only put in force at 2:24 this afternoon, so basically was issued in a nowcast sort of situation because of that conversion. So I'm starting to see those showers popping off in the model showing Cape there, which we'll have a look at in a minute, and it means it's likely to be showers and storms this afternoon and evening. Heavy showers and thunderstorms may bring some disruption during Friday afternoon. Scattered heavy showers and thunderstorms will continue to develop on Friday afternoon, although many places will remain dry or see little rainfall. Some sites could see 20 to 30 millimetres in an hour and up to 50 millimetres in a few hours with lightning. Again, lower end of the impacts matrix, but higher likelihood. So it's highly likely we see showers and a few storms develop, but where they're going to be very impactful, it's probably not, but we are likely to see potentially some isolated impacts on this. So we have a yellow warning in force, and we still have this yellow warning of rain in force for Northern Ireland and parts of Western Scotland. Was changed this morning to extend a bit further north eastwards, and some reduction in totals for Northern Ireland. Occasional periods of heavy rain through Saturday may lead to travel disruption. And again, have a look at those further details. You can see areas of heavy rain are expected to pass northwards across much of Northern Ireland and southwest Scotland through Saturday, potentially accompanied by some thunderstorms. Rainfall totals of 30 to 40 millimetres could fall in 2 to 3 hours in a few places, and a small chance of 80 to 100 millimetres in the 24-hour period. These higher totals are much more likely for Western Scotland, over the hills probably, and Northern Ireland 40 to 50 millimetres is more likely. This may bring localised flooding and travel disruption. This is high on the impact matrix, low on the likelihood. So if this does occur, if we do see these showers and storms develop within this larger area of precipitation along the weather front that is just to the west at the moment, through tomorrow, it is likely to cause some issues if it does pep up, but it is a low likelihood of that. It's more likely just to be some heavy persistent precipitation, maybe 20 to 30 millimetres, or maybe even less in a few spots. But if we do see the heavier pulses develop, some thunderstorms, then we can get these higher rainfall totals. And as I said, I do expect some more warnings issued for Sunday, Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday, but because it is still uncertain and it all depends on the latest models, we may not see those put in force until perhaps tomorrow morning, or even a nowcast situation. So do run over to the UKV and have a look at the precipitation and the temperature over the next 5 days. And after you run to this afternoon, you can see those heavy showers in the south and the southwest. Not quite as widespread in reality across western parts of Wales, but a few more showers further eastwards, so UKV doing all right here. And you see the persistent precipitation, heavy persistent precipitation moving in to the west. That will continue to push slowly eastwards overnight, and eventually through tomorrow we just see that heavy precipitation just linger across Northern Ireland, parts of the Republic of Ireland, southwest England, parts of Wales and western Scotland. Further eastwards could see some heavy thundery showers breaking out again tomorrow afternoon, and again just precipitation pushing in from the west. Another batch of rainfall through early hours of Sunday, giving heavy rain across the Republic of Ireland, Northern Ireland, Wales and southwest England. And again through Sunday afternoon, more showers and thunderstorms breaking off across England before we get a bit of a dry spell through Ireland and Northern Ireland through Sunday, but doesn't last long. Another batch of heavy thundery rain moves in from the southwest through early hours of Monday, and then through Monday afternoon, again another line of heavy thundery showers pushing northeastwards, and then through Tuesday another patch of heavy thundery showers, and in the afternoon just widespread scattered thunderstorms there. A lot of instability in the air and a lot of energy. Again, not all areas are going to see these thunderstorms, but showing the widespread nature of this on this chart, you can see that it's quite a high likelihood that we're going to see, or a lot of areas are going to see this, and it's just continuing all the way through to Wednesday. So you can see there are going to be some drier spells here or there over the next 5 days, but pretty much consistently for the next 5 days there is a risk quite widely across the British Isles, especially in the west, for showers at all times really. Could be some 6-hour dry spells here or there, but if you're in Northern Ireland, Republic of Ireland, western parts of Wales, southwest England and western parts of Scotland, it is looking very, very likely you can have quite a lot of washout conditions over the next 5 days. As I said, it's not going to be raining all the time, but the risk is going to be quite high all the time, and there's going to be a persistent rain, but also could be some heavy thunderstorms as well. So we could just see some light moderate rain all day, but we could also see some thunderstorms moving in. So it's going to be a widespread array of different intensities and sort of longevity. You could see a day where it rains 8 hours consistently, other days where it rains on and off for 8 hours with some heavy thunderstorms mixed in it. So really it's going to be a nowcast situation, I think. So yeah, make sure you do keep an eye on the live radar and the weather warnings as well. And of course I'll be updating this every day. If you look at the wind gusts as well, Again, these don't look fantastically high, but they are strong for this time of year. Again, 50, 60 mile per hour winds could be seen over the next sort of 5 days or so. All depends where the centre of the lobe is and how developed it gets. So probably could put a 10 to 15 mile per hour plus or minus on these. So could see seeing higher gusts, could be seeing lower gusts. But at the moment, you can see those big wind gusts appear with the lines of showers and storms. You can see through Saturday, perhaps across western parts of Scotland, perhaps southwest England, Wales, maybe 40, 50 mile per hour wind gusts. And through Saturday night, as another weather front, an area of precipitation moves in, 40, 50 mile per hour wind gusts. Through Sunday, another area of strong winds approach Southern Ireland, maybe 40, 50, and again isolated 60 mile per hour wind gusts in there. So nothing truly exceptional, perhaps yellow warning worthy, but it's because of the time of year with trees still in pretty full leaf, because of course we are still just at the end of summer into the start of autumn. Even 50, 60 mile per hour wind gusts could have impacts of 80 or 70, 80 mile per hour wind gusts in the winter. So we'll have to see how it does play out, but wind gusts could also be a feature from this as well. Now, as I said, it is warm on the eastern edge of this system, so you can see the upper air temperatures in the east are 10 to 11 degrees at 850 HPA quite consistently, and that means, when we have a look at the 2 metre temperatures, it's going to be pretty warm in the east, even though it is quite an unsettled picture. Now you see this afternoon temperatures maybe 26 degrees across East Anglia, and that just continues over the next couple of days. Widely where we have precipitation, you can see on Saturday it's more lows, maybe mid-teens, maybe high teens in a few spots. Towards the east of England, 26, 25, 26 degrees quite widely. Yes, accompanied by some showers and storms, but where we avoid those, some areas staying very dry, could be very, very warm, hot in fact in a few places. Into Sunday, it's very similar as well. Those temperatures peaking perhaps 23, 24 degrees, maybe slightly higher in the Far East, but widely mid to high teens, maybe low 20s. And again into Monday, maybe 23, 24 degrees in the east, still quite warm, maybe even hot in a few areas. And again into Tuesday, we've seen those temperatures rise again, 23, 24, 25, 26 degrees is possible in a few spots. So still looking very warm over the next 5 days. Some areas in the east could be actually basking in some really nice warm late summer weather, or well, early autumn summer-like conditions, but it all depends on the positioning of showers and storms. If those storms are more extensive, the cloud is more extensive, we're not going to see anything remotely like 25, 26 degrees. But if those storms don't develop one afternoon, or they develop further westwards, or you just avoid them completely, then temperatures could rise to these very warm values. So we'll just have to see really over the next few days. Now, if you look over to the WRF, we're going to go through this quite quickly because there isn't a huge thunderstorm risk, but the lower pressure combined with some cape here means that there is quite an extensive risk of widespread heavy torrential rain and thunderstorms. I'm not expecting anything that very, very explosive, but these heavy showers that can produce some lightning strikes, some hail, some very heavy rain. The rain, I think, is going to be the biggest impact here. Now, if you do run through, you can see areas of instability today through parts of Wales and southwest England, some cape there, maybe into the far southeast of England as well, and that's why we got that yellow warning across southwest England, because we got that higher cape values there. As we head through to tomorrow, you do see not too much initially, but some cape developing across eastern areas, and that's where we see that line of showers develop tomorrow afternoon. Could see some heavy thundery showers breaking out across that, but again, all depends on exactly how the weather front interacts with the instability. Beyond that, we do see continued bouts of cape moving in through the south and the west of Ireland and England and Wales as well. Again, increasing precipitation amounts and intensities, and it just continues through Sunday. More instability and cape thrown eastwards, and again, just more bouts of widespread moderate cape amounts through Sunday and Monday. So again, nothing crazy, no yellows or reds here, which would indicate very, very heavy, severe thunderstorms, but it's likely for heavy thundery showers to break out, with torrential rain being the biggest impact. And again, if we do have a look at the precipitation amounts from the WRF for this, again, you can see the rain moving eastwards over the coming days. And tomorrow, you see those heavy thunder showers breaking out across East England, just widespread precipitation. Could turn very heavy there through parts of Scotland through tomorrow evening, and then just continued bouts of precipitation being thrown eastwards. Yes, some dry spells here or there, but just continued bouts of precipitation moving eastwards over the next few days. Now, the centre of the low here is slightly further westwards, so less showers further eastwards, but again, still will be showers around, maybe just not quite as intense as the UKV makes out. But with this centre of the low just here, very interesting if we have a look at the max wind speeds. And you can see right at the end there, this is the max wind gusts around Monday, early Monday morning. You see a big centre of the low out to the west. This is slightly more developed than the UKV was making out. And you can see wind gusts here getting up towards 100 kilometres an hour. That's maybe 60 to 70 miles per hour, so it's slightly higher than the UKV for parts of Western Ireland. Could even be this being a named storm potentially. So yeah, we'll have to really keep an eye on this over the coming days. So potentially Monday could be seeing something really quite severe. Again, we just have to see really. But for the time being, it just looks generally precipitation, very heavy and widespread, and some stronger wind gusts as well. Now, if we go over to the mid to longer range now, we do have a look at the GFS, GM, ECMWF, and the ensembles. You can see the lower pressure putting itself over the top of us and to our west over the next couple of days, and you can see that real localised low there through Monday that could maybe get named for parts of Ireland perhaps, with some very strong winds there, but it depends on how it's developed, but it just sits out to our west, so strongest winds perhaps will stay offshore, and that central low staying to our west is just going to continue to push precipitation in. Eventually the low clears to our east by Thursday, Friday, but it's still there. We briefly see some higher pressure, but look out to our west. These are two ex-tropical systems that are moving in from the west, and those could start to impact the UK. Initially they don't, but eventually lower pressure moves in. We see some blocking towards Greenland and cooler northeasterly winds right towards the end of the run, but still low pressure dominated, with the low pressure track still on our latitude, so it still remains quite unsettled even though there's more higher pressure influence, and with the winds coming in from a northerly or northeasterly direction, those air masses are going to be chilly, they're going to be cooler than average. There are going to be some warmer air masses, but generally that wind direction means it's going to be cooler than average. Again, it doesn't look amazingly cold there, but for this time of year you can see we are firmly in the blues, which is a good 4 to 6 degrees below average. Now if you have a look at the GM, see how that does compare over the next 10 days. Actually, if we do run back to the GFS quickly and have a look at the precipitation accumulations, that is something I do want to have a look at. And you can see for the United Kingdom, right towards the end of the run, widely 50 to 100 millimetres, especially in the west and the southwest and the north as well. Parts of East Anglia, East Midlands, South East England, maybe only 10 to 20 millimetres, but it's going to be a lot of convection based, which the GFS doesn't forecast too well. So perhaps could be higher in a few spots, maybe could only be 15 millimetres, but it looks widely we're going to be seeing a lot of rain that's going to fill up our reservoirs and our rivers once again. And this is why I said over the next couple of weeks we could see 50 to 100 millimetres really quite widely. Now if we do actually run onto the GM, see how that does compare over the next couple of weeks, again you can see low pressure in control at the moment, moving in, and we see those extratropical systems trying to push in, but by next Friday, Saturday, we are under higher pressure again, but little trough to our south is still there, pulling in a chilly easterly flow. Again, it's nothing too cold, but it's a chilly air mass. Look at the temperature deviation, slightly below average, and it is generally lower pressure, so still a lot of showers around. So day 10 on the GEM, yes, higher pressure more in control, not quite as widely unsettled, but perhaps quite a lot more showers there in the south and the east, with low pressure centred just towards North Europe. And again, we look at the United Kingdom and have a look at the accumulated precipitation. Again, widely 50 to 100 millimetres in the west, maybe only 25 millimetres further eastwards. But again, all depends on thunderstorm activity and what happens in around 5 to 7 days time, where that low does progress through and how it does progress. The west is definitely going to be seeing the most rainfall from this, but locally we could still see very high rainfall totals in the east where we see thunderstorms develop. And if we find for the mid-range models, have a look at the ECMWF, see how that does compare over the next 10 days. Again, low pressure running in and spiralling around, giving us strong winds, unsettled conditions. Could see a little more localised low pressure systems developing there. High pressure eventually does build in, but we are still just sandwiched with low pressure involved, and slightly cooler air mass pushing in there for a time before eventually a warmer air mass moves in there. But that's a warm front ahead of a lower pressure, so probably would be accompanied by cloud and rain, so wouldn't be particularly nice at all. And again, if we do have a look at the United Kingdom, look at that accumulated precipitation. Again, widely 50 to 100 millimetres over the next 7 to 10 days. In the west, more likely 25 to 50 millimetres further eastwards. But again, all depends locally on thunderstorm amounts, because some thunderstorms could give 25 to 50 millimetres in an hour or two. So again, those areas will see a lot more. Some areas will avoid thunderstorm and heavy showers. We'll see a lot less, maybe only 20 millimetres, like some areas in East Midlands and East Anglia here. So we'll have to see exactly, but widespread rain is coming, widespread heavy, thundery rain, potentially. Now, if we do finish by having a look at the ensemble, see what they're showing over the next couple of weeks. Again, warmer air mass over the next week or so, but a lot of heavy showers around, a lot of precipitation there, a lot of precipitation spikes, nothing too crazy high, because the ensemble members, of course, at low resolution, will struggle to exactly decipher thundery activity and showery activities. It is convection-based, which is difficult to forecast on a low resolution model, but the precipitation amounts just continue over the next couple of weeks, so no real signs of any let-up, perhaps some high pressure building at times, but no real let-up, and temperatures generally around average, maybe slightly below or slightly above average at time. So nothing particularly great, pretty typical autumnal conditions, unsettled, a lot of precipitation coming, and temperatures around average, and that average is lowering, sort of 5-6 degrees Angel. The HPA is going to start giving us sort of 15-degree days within the next few weeks, where the last couple of weeks, the last few months, of course, average temperatures are 20 to 25 degrees quite widely, but that average is slowly dropping. Day on day, it's getting more difficult to get to that 20-degree mark, and slowly we're going to be getting those coats back out, and it's going to be feeling chillier, especially if we do have these rainy, unsettled conditions. So yeah, I hope everyone has enjoyed the last week or so. It's been nothing crazy, but it's been warm and dry, temperatures low to mid-20s quite widely. I hope everyone has enjoyed that, especially with the bank holiday last weekend, as it looks likely now we're heading towards proper autumnal conditions, not just for a few days, not for just even 3 or 4 or 5 days, but perhaps for a good few weeks here. And if we do look at the ECMWF Ensembles, see what they are doing over the next couple of weeks. Again, warmer than average over the next 7 days. A lot of precipitation starting in the London area, especially perhaps through the 4th and 5th of September. So that's Sunday, Monday time especially, but perhaps especially Monday, Tuesday for the east, with a lot of heavy showers and thunderstorm activity. Temperatures trending towards average and staying around average for the foreseeable future, perhaps slightly above average towards the middle of September, but I don't know if there's anything to look into at this stage. It is extended range, but precipitation remains fairly high all the way throughout. Perhaps a little bit of a decrease in frequency towards the middle of the month, but there still is plenty there, and I think that's just down to uncertainty. So it is looking very unsettled over the next week or so. So make sure you enjoy the dry spells we are going to see in a few areas over the next few days. But yeah, make sure you do keep an eye on the radar. The radar is going to be the most important thing to have a look at the precipitation and the shower amounts, and of course keeping up to date with the weather warnings as well. So yeah, quite horrible and potentially disruptive weather coming up over the next 5 days. So please do stay safe out there. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you again for another video soon.